Okay, thank you so much. Um, I'm going to give a refresher, and the title is 120 Hours. It's going to come in a form of a story, and I'll do a moral of the story after that. 120 hours. What could happen in 120 hours? I will tell you. Lives have been born and lives have been lost. Wars have been fought and wars have been won. Empires have been built and crumpled down. And the mighty might have fallen and rose again. Looking at this, a lot can happen in 120 hours. But let me tell you a true story of what happened in 120 hours. It was in the 1980s in a certain village when a pregnant woman was due to give birth. She came to know at the ninth hour that she is expecting twins. Well, the day came when her water broke, and she rushed to her mother to tell her. You need to understand that in those days, giving birth at home was a norm. Her mother then called a traditional birth attendant, someone that helped women deliver in the village. She assisted her and she delivered a baby boy safely. Everyone was rejoicing upon hearing the cry. However, the other twin did not come. After a while, they concluded it's a complex issue and they will need to take her to the hospital. Even though the hospital was far, they arrived at the hospital quickly. Upon arrival, the nurses recognized her case as an emergency. However, there was no doctor, and she was advised to wait for the doctor. They would check on her from time to time, hoping the baby will come. 24 hours later, no baby, no doctor. 48 hours, then 72 hours. 96 hours later, still no baby and no doctor. In agony and in pain, she waited on. After 120 hours, that's when the doctor pitched. She found her tired and losing hope, and had left it all to fate. Upon inspecting her and the baby, his heart skipped because of the condition she was in. She was all frail and pale. They rushed her to theater. On her way there, she could hear nurses talking among themselves. I doubt this baby is alive. The baby must have died. After 120 hours, this was never heard of, they said. Upon hearing that, she shed a tear and said a little prayer in her heart. Upon examination, the doctor could not pick the baby's heartbeat. They operated on her in order to remove the fetus and save her instead. The baby was taken out and it's a girl. However, there was no heartbeat and she was non-responsive. Everyone had a sad face on. It was in that moment when the doctor was preparing to tell the mother the bad news. While taking steps towards her, he heard a far crying little voice coming from behind him. Astonished and looking back, he realized it was the baby. Moreover, it continued to get stronger and louder as she continued crying, the voice. Announcing her presence, the baby was announcing her presence in the land of the living, after everyone has given up. And it was after that that she finally met her twin brother after 120 hours. This is my story of how I met my soulmate in the form of a twin brother in 120 hours. However, there is a word that relates to what happened in the last part of the story: resilience. According to the dictionary, resilience is the capacity to recover from difficulties or toughness. Well, in my own words, this is what resilience is. Resilience is when you find yourself in a place knowing that there is nothing left to do but to fight with everything you have just to get up. Resilience is when everyone has concluded that you are done and yet you rise. Resilience is when everything around you shows with evidence that it is finished for you, yet you rise to say, I just started. Resilience is another way of saying, you may break me today, but I will be up tomorrow. It is finding your way against all odds and still be found standing at the end of it all. Resilience is walking away with scars that symbolize the battle. Yet you do not give up and lose hope, you still find it within yourself to say, it is well. In conclusion, resilience is not that you have it all figured out. Rather, is the power behind, I'll keep going even when storms keep coming. Through it all, do not give up. And remember, there is still hope.